Hello and welcome to Barbarian Law, the YouTube channel. My name is Kareem Eshkur and I'm the managing partner of Barbarian Law, and today we're going to be talking about match fixing. What is match fixing? Match fixing is when you try to control the result of a game for any type of reason. This could include, so let's go through it. Introduction to match fixing. Why do people match fix? It's for money. Why do people do anything? It's for money. So when you watch a game, the goal is for it to be entertaining. Sports are there to entertain people. So they want the game to be more entertaining. The way they do that is they get more stars and they get more teams that are popular, like from big cities. They might get more fan bases. Teams like Toronto in the NBA, they're the only Canadian team. So in that sense, they are discriminated for in like subconscious ways. Some of this match fixing is very conscious, direct effort, but a lot of it happens in the back of people's heads, and it's a subconscious thing where there's biases that the referees suffer from. I can speak to this as a former referee. When people try to yell at you, you can act like it doesn't affect you, but it does. Unfortunately, there's been studies about how referees, especially the older ones, they get abused and they're subject to verbal abuse, physical abuse. So referees are very subject to abuse. And as a joke, as when I was a referee, like they were like, "Oh, ref, can you give us calls? Like we'll pay you, we'll bribe you." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like how much? Like they're joking. The thing is like if they actually were serious players and want to pay money, the referee, sometimes he's just doing his job. If he's getting money to give a penalty, some refs might do that. So I've never done it. I've refed very honestly. If there's people from my area who can testify to how I've refed, I try to do my best, and the whole point is to be consistent. So when you see a handball called in one leg and the handball is not called in a second leg, that's inconsistent. So the whole point of refereeing is you have to give a consistent standard so the players know how they're going to be refed. The problem is it's not the same ref for every game. Every game there's a different referee, they might ref differently, but the rules are not supposed to change. So match fixing can be done consciously or subconsciously. It's usually done for money. So what are examples of where this has happened? If anyone has watched the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, you will see, like I saw the training for Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was bah, 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 bah. I didn't see Mike Tyson throw any punches in the fight. There's some people who say that Jake Paul gave him like some sort of sign that says you're going too hard, like relax, because Tyson is trying to get a payday. You know, they're using Tyson's name and his attention as a boxer to get people to buy the pay-per-view. They make money, they pay 10 million to Tyson to take a fall. Like he's been knocked out multiple times in his career. Why wouldn't he just take a few punches from Jake Paul? It doesn't even hit that hard, and he's laughing. 10, 20 million dollars, he can, do whatever he wants. Another example is WWE. So I remember how old I was when I found out that WWE was not real. I was in a karate class and had a black belt. His name was Bruce. There was a big pillar in the middle of the building, and he just kicked the building. He kicked the pad in the middle of the building, and the whole building shook. And he's like, "Look, if you get kicked or punched in the face, you're done. Like you're not getting back up." So all these WWE guys are hitting each other with steel chairs, jumping off the top rope. It's not real. So WWE, Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment, is entertainment. Why can't you bet on the winner of a WWE match? I don't know if you can, but it's probably not able to because it's rigged. So Vince McMahon, he talks about this in the documentary, right? The whole point of WWE is you have a heel and a face. The face is like someone everyone loves, and a heel is someone that people hate, but he also brings energy. So when Vince McMahon comes out and everyone boos him, that's still good because it's energy. Everyone is booing, at least they're into it. If no one cares, not making sounds, like it's not going to be fun. It's all about the atmosphere. So we want to have it a good game. That's the whole point. Even as a referee, you want it to be a good game. You don't want one team to lose 6-0. It's even that. You start to make calls to even out the game a little bit. It's a human nature. So when do these calls get made? In critical moments of the game. So I'll give you an example. I was watching Paris versus Bayern Munich. The first leg was 5-4. The second leg in Germany, the first half was going to decide the game. And in the first half, there was a penalty. There was a handball on Paris Saint-Germain that was not called. And in this first leg, the same handball was called on Alphonso Davies. They gave a penalty to PSG. So there's an inconsistency about how the penalties were called from one leg to the second leg. I understand they're two separate games, they're two separate referees, but the standard should remain. Another handball happened later in the first half. It was a second yellow. It clearly, hand away from the body, touch it on a breakaway or on a strong chance, it would have been a second yellow. So the referees, sometimes they know this guy is on a yellow card. If I give a second yellow, it's going to go out of the game. I'm going to ruin the game. As a referee, you don't want to ruin the game. People say, oh, you give a red card, you ruin the game. But also, if you don't give a red card at the right time, you also ruin the game. Because at a critical moment, someone does something dirty, you don't even realize they just stick a hand out on purpose and knock the ball away. He knows the guy's through, so critical moments is when the referees can change the game. How do I know this? Because I did that, right? Sometimes at the end of the game, there's a slide tackle happening on a guy in a breakaway. If you make the call or omit to make the call is an action either way. So the referee is forced in a decision to make a split-second decision. Now we're going to get to VAR slowly. Missed calls, compromised athletes, league mandates. What do you need to rig a game? Generally speaking, you need one defender, one midfielder, a forward, and a goalie if you actually want to do a team way. If a goalie's compromised, then you can easily fuck up the game, right? So how do they do this? Red cards, we discussed that giving a red card with playing a man down it can easily change the game. So we're going to watch for this World Cup for who's getting red cards, who's getting penalties. In the last World Cup, Argentina got a lot of penalties. If you go back to my video in season 2, episode 2, I detail how Argentina did get a lot of calls, and it was in Qatar, and I mentioned how they wanted Argentina to win because if Messi wins the World Cup, it's such a big deal. And look at how Messi and Ronaldo are still in the national teams at age 40. There's so much better players than them at this moment. And even Neymar made the Brazil team, and he has to. Why? Because he's like the mascot. Neymar is the best player in Brazil's history almost. Like some people consider him at like Pele level. He's just never won a World Cup. If he wins this World Cup, now he's in the GOAT conversation. What if he scores a free kick in the finals or something? So I'm not against it. Like match fixing to make the games more entertaining is actually good. This should be done. The problem is when there's one team who has like more pull over the ref, like PSG, the oil money from Qatar is easily going to help influence the referee. Whereas Bayern, who's doing things the right way, same as Arsenal, they're not going to try to influence the ref. So match fixing happens in soccer at all levels. I can give you examples if no one believes me, but we're going to actually watch the World Cup like this, and we're actually going to analyze the games, and when they happen, we're going to see if there's any refereeing discrepancies. So on the VAR, the question is, when does it get triggered? So on a second yellow, does it automatically get triggered? No, it only gets triggered on a straight red. So when the VAR gets triggered, it's actually a wild card. So you already have a referee and 2 ARs. AR is not the gun, pow. It's not AR assault rifle. It's not Austin Reeves. AR assistant referees, they're the ones to call the offsides. It's actually an easy job. You follow the last defender, you can tell when they're onside, but now it's replaced by the computer. Actually, that's a call easily done by the computer. The throw-ins, okay, we need a linesman. AR, sorry. Next, the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th officials, the ones that are in the video, those guys I don't trust because I'm used to a referee having the discretion to handle the calls on the field, judge, jury, executioner. When you take the power out of the referee's hands, that's when I start to think that something is going on. So when you see a referee get called over to the screen, you know that in all probabilities, 90% chance, the referee is going to change the on-field decision. So it's the referee, when they call the soccer referee over to the monitor, they're saying that we've identified something that needs to be addressed. So the referee is now compelled to change his mind. So the VAR takes the autonomy and discretion outside of the ref. So I'm going to be watching for the VAR and who are they changing the calls for. It's very important to look at because many stakeholders don't want to discuss this. This discussion I'm having is not something that people like to discuss. Most grifters, they talk about things that are happy so that you feel good. I'm like, hey guys, it's so nice to be here. I can't wait for the World Cup. Like, no, I don't talk like that because it's not real. Actually, I'm not invested in any of the teams. If I was working for Team Canada, I wouldn't be saying some information. If I was working for Germany, I would say, do not go to Osmos before your quarterfinals game because there's a good chance that you're going to get sick and you won't be able to play. So actually being in Toronto is actually going to be a huge wild card for these teams visiting this city. And so I'm curious to see if the national teams like from South America, they're actually very they do a lot of gamesmanship and try and get advantages over some all things, even off the field. So let's watch the World Cup, let's enjoy it. Messi is playing in Toronto today, so hopefully TFC wins. It's 0-0 right now, so I'm gonna keep watching it. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and I'll keep you updated on what's going on in the world of soccer.